We continue learning Dirshu Mishnah Berurah. We're in the middle of Siman Pei Gimel. We're up to Sif Daled. The previous year, we began reading the Mechaber in Sif Daled, but there was an issue with the page, so we're going to pick it up again from the beginning of Sif Daled. A very important halacha. Every halacha is important, but as we already started seeing, this is an extremely important halacha, halacha lemaisa. Beis hakisei shayeh bechafira. So you have a beis hakisei that you dug. What does that mean? You have a hole, and then you have a slant, and the feces and the meraglayim and the soya sits far away. Simply the meraglayim go down this slant, and they do not stay in the place where they're put, but rather they are exited and they land elsewhere. Says the Mechaber, Kisasam dam mutar likros by. There's no meraglayim. It's not a primitive outhouse that everything just falls. It goes down and a miyad immediately goes away outward. You're allowed to say Shema there. But of course, cautions the Mechaber, that there is no reach ra, and of course there's no meraglayim outside of the hole. But says the Ramah, Avol. We turn over to the next page over here. Avol imashtinim behem l'pamim. If at times you urinate in it, also laharabem kedivrei Torah. Kol shkein likros kriyishma. Okay, so this is an important halacha. Let's dive right in. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sifkatin Yeralf is the din of Sasam Pirush. The Avalei Kilu Eina Makam is Zebi Sekisei Klal. It says if it's not a bathroom at all. It doesn't make a difference because the tzaya never sits there. Now that's an important detail because we many times mentioned how our bathrooms might not have a din of a bathroom. This is one of the huge Ma'ar Mekayim, basically the Bar Sai. But it's important to note that this is at some level, even better than our bathrooms. Because in our bathrooms, the toilet holds the tzaya, holds the meraglayim for some time until you flush. So it's not like over here that immediately right away it goes outward. Now, of course, our bathroom have a different advantage, that it flushes and it's water and it's clean, etc. Whereas over there, you can only imagine. But it's important to note, it never sat there for a moment, and that's the reason why the Mechaber says it as a din. It is not a bathroom at all. Avalim mashtinim. But now the Ramah commented that if you urinate at times, so says the Mishnah Berurah, it's a leimer. If there's no meraglayim, there v'in b'reich ra. The area has a din of a beis hakisei outward, outside of the hole that one urinates into gets a din of a beis hakisei from the fact that it's used as a beis hakisei. It's not only used to sit, but rather it's used as an actual beis hakisei. Actually, I should say even better. Let's just go back for one moment and look at the Mechaber. What did the Mechaber in Sif Daled begin? He said, we have a beis hakisei shebechafira, that this is where all the waste goes. But now the Ramah is telling us, but once it's actually used as a bathroom, that you use it for meraglayim, that you urinate there, then it's going to cause an issue. Because of Ataz, continues the Mishnah Berurah. First of all, it's a lower level. The walls don't have the same din of soya like we learned previously, that you have to distance yourself opposite. It can help Sivkatanei. We've seen many times. Meraglayim, the Isser is not the meraglayim itself. It's as the meraglayim is exiting the body, one has to distance from that midrabana, not the araisa. But the actual meraglayim does not pose an issue. So that doesn't give this a din of a big chitzos beis hakisei. V'nira continues in the Mishnah Berurah. A urinal, a place that one could urinate. It says Mishnah Berurah, reminders of old school porta potties, etc. That they don't smell so great. That whole entity has a din of a beis hakisei. I know there are new fancy ones, but okay. We've seen some the actual oven, the actual toilet, because that is in the smelly entity that's in the daraisa. Before we go to Sif Hey, for a quick moment, I thought for a quick moment we were going to go look at Dirshu number 24, but we don't have Dirshu number 24. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and conclude Siman Pei Gimel with Sif Hey. Says the Mechaber in Sif Hey. B'nei Adam sheish lehem safsol nakav v'nifnin alav, a primitive toilet. They have a bench with a hole, and that's what they use to defecate. Why? It's not an actual hole. It's covered over the board. You would have to read again. So says the Mishnah Berurah over here, Sivkatan Yod Gimel, Kriya Shema Kenegdei. Sfira Allah, the Ein Loi Din Beis HaKisei Yash, it doesn't have a Din of Beis HaKisei, an old Beis HaKisei. The Kaimel and the Asal of Fana of Kavali Ein of Afilu Pinu Menu Atzaya. Once it gets a Din of a Beis HaKisei, it's also even as far as I can see it. It doesn't have that Din. Elarak Din, Bayish Ezminu Beis HaKisei, Mavur L'Sif Beis. It's a house that's Muzman, that's designated for a Beis HaKisei. Kim Shein Olav Saya Merlin, there's never Saya on it. And it's never there unless in a time of need. Says Mishnah Berurah, many argue on this, so it is important. As we're building this sugya, we have to keep in mind the Mechaber just taught us seemingly that our bathrooms is nothing to worry about. Now, number that comes along the Mishnah Berurah says no. Harvey Achrayim argues Firlud Yeshloi Din Beis HaKisei Yashan. It has the din of an old Beis HaKisei, something that was used in the past as a bathroom. Kim Shenifna Alav, because Lamaisa you use the bathroom on it. Valkain, and therefore, Sachlizark Sheroitza Ligris Krishman Lespalo Dabra is a different kedusha Sheroitza Beis Yotzei Akisei Me'abayis. You have to take out this chair from the house. Put it 4 amos away from you. If this is, a primitive chair, which has underneath it the pot, the chamber pot. So we want to know what's the din of the chair. That's what we're discussing. Let's keep in mind. The pot underneath, that itself is an issue. What we're discussing is, what is the status of the chair? You took out the pot, you threw out the feces. What about the pot itself? The chair itself? And the reason why we're pointing out how important this is, because this seemingly is mamish our bathroom. Why? Because you have a chair that's called the toilet that you sit on. The part underneath flushes away. So now we have to figure out what is the din of the chair. So the Mechaber seemingly taught us it's no problem at all. And the Mishnah Berurah is saying no. Don't say different kedusha with that chair in vicinity. Let's say they have small ones for little kids. You have to cover them over, even though there's no tzai in it when you're saying Shema. Or take it out of the room. And says Mishnah Berurah, practically, the child isn't the neatest creature. It's going to make it a little bit dirty. When it's clean. Cause of derechai and needs safsol nakov. Dema safsol miyuchali yeshiva. Come on, kisishim yuchad in yeshiva. It's a regular chair, mechusa bekar, and has a pillow on it. Kshesarach la davar meiser akar miyalav and iften ala kliya nitzavim sham. So they had a dual purpose. They had a toilet, and then they covered it over. They put a pillow on it. It was a regular chair. So it says the derechayim yishlahat likros asbal beisha umechusa bekar. When it's covered over, you could say Shema. Even if it's not covered anything else, okay, before we call it a day, for one moment, let's look over here. Dirshu note number 26 points out what's the din with a potty nowadays. Says the Dirshu quotes the Chazon Ish and Rav Zalman Auerbach that you can be Mekel. It's a wide hole. Says Rav Neuber, Talmud of Rav Zalman. Perhaps we don't only have to be careful that it's going to be so dirty because Lamaisa is designed in a way to keep clean. But it's not Shabbatin, while the kid is sitting there. Then Umachusa Payuschai, the Ben Yisiyan says an interesting chiddush. It's called covered up because the child covers it up, whereas the Shal Shuvas Beis Yudah says not. Okay, that's if the kid's mamish in the room when one's saying Shema. That is a different story. Now, it is important to point out, as we're going to for a moment look at the next Dirshu, which is commenting in a Bir Halacha. We don't always do this, but it's important because the Dirshu over here brings up this Halacha that we've spoken about so many times. Because the Bir Halacha discusses what is the status of the whole room. A room that has this chair in it, a room that functions as a toilet. To read inside that room. So says the Dirshu note number 27. We have a ditch, it's dug, and the feces go all the way out 10 tfachim. Says the Chazon Ish, even if it's rishos nifredes, it's its own rishos, still you have to go out of there, unless unless it falls all the way down. Why? Because there's mechitzas around the opening, and it's all covered up, and therefore we could give it its own din. Similarly, the Gain, the Shulchan Aruch Harav, says that the room has the status of Devar Hashem Baza. It's called a toilet, it's called a bathroom, and of course, inside that room, you're not going to be able to say Shema, etc. The reason why these halachas, particular about the Beis HaKisei Parasai, are quite important. It's because if we remember way back when we spoke about Netilas Yadayim, we spoke about you have to wash your hands when you go into the bathroom, and we mentioned many times, as did a Beis HaKisei Parasai nowadays, and we said Rosh Hashanah, Shita, etc. This is one of the big reasons, because as we're seeing over here, perhaps our bathrooms don't have a status of a bathroom at all. Now, of course, no one's going to say that. Moshe Feinstein writes extensively, not that way, that of course, la halacha, the bathroom is instead of a bathroom. You cannot say Shema in the bathroom, etc. However, we want to know what level does it have? Does it make that your hands that went in there have to be washed? Do you have to wash outside of the bathroom? That's what we pointed out that Ramesha says the makam to Yimekel. It's true, Ramesha seems to say that l'chatchila one should wash outside of the bathroom, but this is really the sugya that it comes from. We'll pick it up from Siman Pei Dalet in the next year, B'siyata Dishmaya.